when he gets there. Here he goes.
Okay, yeah.
Right, it's the purest silk. They're used for gentlemen's suits and ladies' garments. Where does it originate from? Spain. White nose, pink nose, white feet, that tells me he's a high conditioned sheep. And here comes our next one, Monarch the Romney. Now the Romney here, where does he originate from? England. He's a dual purpose sheep. We breed him here in New Zealand for their wool and their meat. Here comes Sterling. Sterling the Coroner. Oh, he's stopping off for the guy team. Here he goes, come on. As you can see, they're well trained. Now Sterling the Coroner. He's our number 2 chief here at the Agridomes. The Scots together and breed this chap here, the Pole Dorset. Now Pole simply means horns bred out of the sheep. Moving on to our Blues brothers, Jake and Alvin, the Blues brothers. Now the Suffolk here is found right throughout the world now. It weighs up to 150 kilograms. The South Suffolk here is a dairy cow. The captain himself down, he doesn't like talking about this, but he has the most sweetest neck in the world. The Lane sheep here in New Zealand, and 30,000 of them are still cut. We use his wool for harvest spinning and natural dyeing. Right, on behalf of the Agridome and Hannah and myself, we are proud to present and also help me move around the sheep a little bit quicker. Now, which one of these gentlemen would you like me to share for you this afternoon? Bring them in the shearing sheds. Bring it forward. Now, it's very important for our sheep shearers to make sure our sheep's nice and comfortable. So a bit of a wave, a bit of a smile. Now you might notice she has no teeth on her top gum whatsoever, on her bottom gum, so I can pop my finger into her mouth and she won't bite down on that at all. She'd rather spit it out. Now here in New Zealand, we shear our sheep twice a year, every 6 months. Now this funny looking thing in my hand is what we call a handpiece. Solid steel, a 13-tooth comb on the bottom and a 4th-tooth cutter on top. Now the style of shearing that I'll be doing for you this afternoon was created by a gentleman in the name of Godfrey Bowen and has been the same style since the late 1950s and is now practiced right throughout the world. Start here on the belly.
Oh, it just takes all white. twice a year.
There we have it, folks. One sheep short. Now, how do you think she feels? Cold and embarrassed? Well, what we'll do, the best thing we can do for her is stick her outside. She'll get a belly full of grass. That'll generate heat from the inside out. And also in the next 24 hours, her skin thickness will double. And also the lanolin that is naturally in her skin will come to the surface and also keep her warm. Now, there are several buttons on the sheep that makes our sheep shearer's job just that much a little bit easier. But when she brings her leg back like that, it causes a few wrinkles. And I can drive my handpiece into there and cut it. So what we do, apply a bit of pressure and pop that leg goes. Just like that. Same with her back leg. When she brings this back, causes a few wrinkles. So a bit of pressure and that leg just pops straight out. Just like that. Well, we'll say goodbye for now. And she'll be back in 6 months for a haircut. There we go. Now, a New Zealand sheep shearer like myself will shear anywhere between 250 to 350 sheep done in an 8-hour day. Now, we don't get paid by the hour, we get paid by every sheep we shear. So that sheep I just finished shearing for you, I would have earned myself $1.70. Right, and the world record for shearing a sheep that size is 721 done in a 9-hour day. Now that was done by a gentleman the name of Rodney Southern. Now that works out to be around 35 to 40 seconds every sheep short. Now, also in the shearing sheets we have what we call a rousey or a she-hand or a wool technician, which help us shearers during the day. And what they do, they bring the wool over to a sorting table like this, and they sort it forward to 2 different grades, the A grade and the B grade. Now this is the B grade. Now this is worth around 50 to 60 cents a kilo. Now, it's not much they can do with this wool. So what they do is dye it and turn it into singlets like this and a pair of socks. But you're not here to see this, folks. You're here to see the A grade. So here we go, pass it out, get the feel of it. Feel some of it, pass it back, pass it around, over the top. There you go, see. There you go. Down here, to the side, there you go. There we go, man. Now, scrunch that up with your hands as tight as you can. That's it, as tight as you can, and then release it. It'll bounce straight back to its natural form. That is the reason why this wool is used for carpets. Now, it's worth around $2.50 a kilo. It's fire resistant, it does not burn at all,
Like
it only smoulders. And it also holds 1/3 of moisture before it is actually wet.
Yeah.
Now, if you rub it in your hands as fast as you can, that's it. That's right, nice and fast. Take a bit of a smell. Now, you all smell as bad as I do. 250 down there. That's 250, 260, 270, 275, 280, 3,000. See what you just said there? 300. I was actually going to sell you the sheep. At 300, there's off me 305. At 305, 305 down there, 310 there, 315. At 315, 320, 325, 330, 335 going once, twice, sold to you, man. Give her a hand, folks, get her up here. You look quite surprised. That is the best price I've ever gave for the sheep. And your name is Hannah? And where are you from, Mars? California. Los Angeles. Okay. Hands out. Okay, I'll take that. Yep, I'll take it. I'm serious. I'm not joking. Yeah, what? Yeah, Invitation, $50. Shoes, $100. I'll take those trainers. Yes. Don't worry about the holes in the socks, man. I'll see where got a beer little trainer. It's 50. Another $50. It's 100. 300. Okay, that's all right. Hands up. Check. Take the picture. Okay, one more item. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up, nurses. Trousers. There you're right, man. Here's your shoes. Give her a hand, folks. I won't send you back to the States empty-handed. We have one little sheet here. When you get back to the States, get a big bowl of water, or even a bath will do. And it'll jump out the size of this chair here. Yeah, folks, jump over. Now that's enough about sheep. Let's move on to the dairy cow on the street. Here she comes. 2 buckets. What do I use these for? You did right. Look. And the other one? Sit on, close, very close. Breathing station 8 Now what I'm needing are 4 volunteers that have never milked the cow before to come up on stage. Who'd like to come up? 4 people? Yes, madam, come. Yes, madam, come. Got our 4 volunteers? Great.
Work the hands.
One hand out, cover. Bend your knees, down. Oh, that's great. Here we go, man.
Oh, they have to nip it.
Yeah, that's what they're there for.
That's all yours now. Well, give her a hand, folks. Here you go, man. Got it for your hands. And a certificate in utterance.
See, you didn't have to swallow.
Louise. Come this way, Louise. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Just straight connect. Yep, up again. That's it. Well done. There we go. Give her a hand, folks. There we go. And a certificate.
What kind of cow is this?
Frisian.
Frisian?
After the event, you go. Thailand. You're very lucky. Come here. You're very lucky. This is a very special cow. It has 2 flavours. Vanilla, chocolate. What would you want? Chocolate. Here we go. Here we go. It's alright. I'm standing. Yeah. Any hand. That's it. Straight down. That's it. See it? That's it. Well done.
Okay.
Here we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Afternoon, man.
It's a pleasure.
And your name? Carter. You're from LA. Okay.
Okay, Carter.
There we go. You've got a crowd behind you watching you. They want
Come
a good
on,
photo.
Carter.
Oh.
Look at this.
She likes it.
Yes, she does.
He likes
Give her a hand, folks. It's all well done. There we go. There we go. Well done. Now this is Mike. He's what we call a strong-eyed heading dog. Now he originates from the Border Collie. Now we bred him with the Border Collie. We put the hunting breeds across the Border Collie. The reason being was the Border Collie's coat is too shaggy and his legs too short. So as you can see, shorter coat, longer legs. Now the last show before you folks turned up, I have trained 3 sheep behind the green door there. But these things happen, nothing always goes to plan. One just ran straight into the young boy's neck right there. And the other one, 3 rows back. So, sir, could you stand up? I need your help. Just walk forward here, arms outstretched, and give me a really angry face. Angry face. That's it. That's it. Now just stay there, hold it. Hold it, just stay there. A real angry face, sir. You can sit down now, sir. You can sit down. Give me a face. Well done. If I was there live sheep on the stage, they would run off. Now, as you can see, Mike's working these ducks, leaving the right. A strong-eyed breed dog does not bark whatsoever. They use their body to move the sheep around. There's Mike. Right, Mike. Left. Walk him up. Walk him up, Mike. Right, Mike. Walk him up. Okay, folks, he's slipping away now. I can see he's hungry for KFC. There we go. This is Gus, our New Zealand Hunterway. Now, to get him so barky, so loud, we put breeds across the road, like the Labrador and the Red Setter and a few other breeds to keep the bark as loud as we can. Now, dogs like this can shift up to 3,000 sheep on their own. So we'll show you how he works now. Left. Now, as you can see, the sheep behind me are petrified.
You're yelling away.
Well, now, in some places we need a hunterway where the sheep, sometimes they just stop moving. They will not move at all. So what we do is get a hunterway to jump on them, what we call backing. I'll show you what I mean. If I can get these fellas up. Here we go. Come on, up Tex. Come on. Up, come on up. Up, come on, up.
Get up.
Come on up. Up, come on up. Get up. Little flat tire here, folks. Get on up. Come on. Yeah, it's not one here. Here we go. Anybody home? Come on up. You guys won't be contract not there. Right, here we go. You ready? Gus, you ready? Whoop, whoop. Right there. Head up. Head up. Head, Gus. Anything. Anything, Gus. Right up there, Gus. come up, sit down amongst these gentlemen and get your photo taken where you won't get it anywhere else in the world. Now, the last piece of the show, I need four volunteers. Who would like to come up? 4 volunteers.
To do what?
Well, I'm telling you. Good luck. Come up, sir. Come up. Yep. Great, come on. Yes, sir. It's my favourite part of the show. Block 4. Yes, I'm block 4. Here we go, sir. Shall I just wind up against the wall there, sir? Here we go. You can drink all the fastest. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No. On behalf of Hannah and myself, thank you very much. Thank you. Can I have a photo taken with the Rams? So hungry.
From my mother's side of the family, and I was going to a funeral. So here my oldest aunt is sitting next to me in a limousine, and the younger one is in the front. And Aunt Anna tells me, she asked me, she says, so how are things in California? You need to move back to Chicago. I can fix you up with a nice Hungarian man that gets a big pension and he has a paneled basement and you just have to cook for him. Why do you have to live in California? You need to move right back here where your people are. So my other aunt says, well, she doesn't need to move back here. What's the matter with you? She's like an independent woman. She could do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to wash any man's underwear. Anyway, so I asked my Aunt Anna, so I asked her, so do you still go dancing at the Berlin Club? And she goes, oh yeah, I take the bus and I have my shot and a beer. And she's like 80 years old, you know, drives through a bad neighborhood to go dancing. So she asked me, do you go dancing? I go, oh, yeah, sometimes. And she says, just remember, when you go dancing, when a man takes you out, first he pays for your dinner, then there's dancing, then there's fucking. No dinner, no dancing, no fucking.
Every week, the captain pass out underwear, undies. So there are all kinds of men up there, Hawaiian, Portuguese, and Japanese, and all that. And so the Japanese guy came up, and the captain asked, "How many undies do you need?" And he said 7. And the captain said, "Why?" He said, "Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday." So captain said, "Okay, here's 7." And then the Hawaiian guy came up, captain asked, and he said 5. And captain said, "Why 5?" He said, "Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday." Captain said, "What happened to Saturday and Sunday?" He said, "Hang loose." And then the Portuguese guy come up, and the captain asked, "Well, how many?" He said 12. The captain scratched his head, said, "Oh, this guy must be a really clean guy, you know." So he said, "Why 12?" He said, "January, February, March, April."
That's your last
Okay, so anyhow, you know, we're going to be going to Auckland, and Auckland is one of the biggest cities in the country, and it's very famous because it's got lots of very nice restaurants with very fine food. So one of the guys is on a trip, and he likes to do his own thing and go to a fancy restaurant. So he's up there, and he sits down, and it's a nice setup with tablecloths and the waiter with the thing over farm and the whole thing, and the wine list. The other thing, he is alone. He keeps looking, and he notices across from him, there's this really gorgeous looking young lady also on her own, a redhead. He gets, you know, he likes doing his own thing, but he can't, she's just mesmerizing him. He can't keep his eyes off of her. And she's kind of just minding her own business, enjoying her own food, ordering wine. He starts to fantasize about her. And then all of a sudden she sneezes. As she sneezes, it turns out she has a glass eye. And the eye pops out and bounces off the floor. And because he's been watching her so closely, he's very quick. And he grabs it on the first bounce and brings it back over to her. And no one else has seen this but her. And he's very discreet, handing it back to her, and she plops it back in. She's so thankful to him. And then she invites him over to the table to join him. And she buys him a drink, and then she insists on picking up the dinner, and they have a very nice conversation. And afterwards she says, well, you know, the night's still early, you want to come over to my hotel and you know, continue our conversation. So we said, well, of course, it's been wonderful. So they go over to the hotel and end up, make a long story short, having just a wonderful night of lovemaking and just a great time. In the morning, he wakes up and she's got his pants and his shirt ironed out, and she has breakfast ordered and sitting there on the table and everything for him. And he, you know, he can't believe this is such a great day that he's having. And he says to her, this has really been wonderful. You've really been wonderful. You bought my dinner last night. You made wonderful love to me. You made me breakfast, ironed my pants. Do you treat all the guys like this? And she says, well, not everyone, but you just caught my eye.
That's a groaner.
Okay, top that one. Tough act to follow. Okay.
Okay. This Air Force Cafe. He said, oh no, I'm so tired, you know. Don't you have anything? He said, no. And then the colonel walked away, and he called the colonel back. Oh, I forgot that one room that this guy snored like crazy. Nobody wants to sleep with him in the same room. And the colonel scratched his hand and said, it's not good, but I take it anyway. So what he did, when he checked in the room, and sure enough, this guy snored like crazy. So he went and he took a shower, put his pajama on, put cologne on, came over, picked this guy up, and hugged him, and kissed him on the lips, say, good night, honey. And he stayed up all night. This guy stayed up all night. The colonel slept like a baby. And they
Can't hear you. Mic's off.
Birds.
그러니까 나머지 들러리
You know what this is? Is this?
Oh, you didn't pay for the car. Whoa.
I had to up everybody too. God, I wish we could have stayed here longer.
See, and I got one like that. Smaller. And it was 30. Auckland. Because in 1996 we won that trophy, and so it was decided to have the challenge in Auckland. That'll all be derelict, nobody will go down there. Quite the opposite, it's gone from strength to strength. In 2000 we had the challenge, and as you know, the holder only has to challenge one challenger, and so you have an elimination round, and most of them went home for a year. Syndicates, you're talking about 150 personnel, because you've got the sailors, you've got the engineers, the boat builders, stayed in the downtown accommodation. They had the Louis Vuitton round again, and Prada got eliminated, and look at the wedding coming in the old cars. And that wonderful landlocked sailing nation, western side, the America's Cup side, where it was done to a master plan, and they planned out for different buildings. Here it's, you know, somebody's built car wash. They'll go for exemptions and extras because of something. They might put a car park down the bottom, or they'll build where you're going to have your lunch on the day you go to the airport. So a very, very nice area. I have been there for lunch. This is the main shopping street up here to the left. Now the shops will close. I'll probably close. Well, I'll drive around until they close if you like. Yeah, although we have 7 upwards of 9 o'clock, because a lot of tourists come in and just have one night in Auckland, so they'll stay open. Maritime Museum. This building here with Phillips on it, this was used to be the engineering workshops of the one there, Nirvana. I think that'll be from overseas. There's still a couple of syndicate bases. This for families. Now if you look over there to the right where it says waterfront work in process, to the left there's those two photos. The bottom is what we have now, the top is what they want. Grass, all this with grass, lawns and housing, but not high-rise. So they want 1 and 2 level. As I said before, you've got the sort of the mature couples in. Then the council will come in, and this whole area will be cleared of buildings, and they'll proceed with whatever development they. That's a people's boat. It's something like $800 a month to rent one of those, again, depending on size. But you measure that. No, sitting on a quarter of an acre, the house is probably worth, controls the banks, this is the Bankers Bank. They're trying to keep inflation under, what was under 2%, now they've extended to under 3%, and yet the councils are putting the land tax up by almost 10% each year and saying, well, we need the money. So, food restaurant. But if you walk around to the left there by the big boat on the cradle, there are a number of bars there. Also straight ahead down onto the Princess. Yeah, that's where all. Well, I left over there when I was 5, but I grew up mainly in South Auckland.
It's not bad back here.
What's that?
Oh,
$30 a person. Oh, look, that lovely tea. It looks like it's raining. It must be the dirt on the glass.
I don't think you can do this kind of.
Oh, no. I'm not going to watch
Grab the camera. Grab the shot.
So that,
Sure does.
how many?
Okay.
Is it paint wise in terms of
Wait, no, up straight, like
Wait for a time, it's coming. Wait for a time, it's coming.
our tail lights and all that. We make what's currently carrying us by what's in the
got eaten alive though when you see it. That's why I figured I was going to take your group back.
The squares, I mean, do they go sort of like straight the whole way up?
Pretty straight all the way up. That's another reason why the road is so
Controversial? Yeah, we're all over the place. Have you all seen Cody trees before?
Never.
No?
No. I'm on the way out.
Yeah. There's a few just down the road here. Cody trees have been mispronounced, everyone. Cowrie. The proper way to pronounce Cody trees is to take a person's name, spelled C-O-D-Y, and say it fast. Cody. You got it already. Mispronounced Cowrie. Just move to one side, let people come through, huh?
Yay? Come on over here.
Cody, yeah. Same with us, mispronounced Maori. Maori.
You like to roll your R's.
Yes. Yeah. Tarawera. This was a Cody snail. Just went for a walk up the hill there.
Yeah.
There's this shell.
More money for we're getting it little by little.
How big our Cody snails grow to. They get bigger. Cody snails, named after the Cody tree.
No, they told us to go.
Everyone, welcome to Waipoua. Welcome to Tāne Mahuta. This is the physical representation of the God of the forest. The spiritual is the Lord. Don't get the two mixed up, okay? Physical, the God, Tāne Mahuta, the tree. Spiritual, the Lord, Tāne Mahuta. Tāne Mahuta is not too far away, it's under a minute walk away. And before we go in to see Tāne Mahuta, we need to conduct a karakia, a prayer. We pray to our gods for your safety when you travel around Aotearoa or when you come with us into the forest, okay? So if you don't mind giving me a few moments. He te atu ina tana mātou ki a koe kia te whainga te whānau e tūnei. He te atu ina tana mātou ki a koe kia te whainga mātou katoa. Hoki no mātou ki o mātou kainga noho. Mo ake, Amen. Amen. Kia ora. Thank you very much, everyone. Haere mai, follow me. Tawhiri. Hey! All right? Everybody, before we get to view Tāne Mahuta, we're going to pay our respects. I'm going to greet him in Māori, followed by an English translation, okay? Pay our respects to the Lord of the Forest, Tāne Mahuta. Mami whānui kia koe te ato e tāne. Ho mātou tēne ko tāmai te rānei ki te mahara mai ngā manuhiri. Ki te noho e raro o manga. Kātū koe tūana koe kātū tanu koe te ohetanga te rangi me te whenua. Nā reira tēnā koe te ato e tāne. Greetings to you, Tāne Mahuta. We've come to bring you visitors to sit below your branches because you are the separator, Papatua Nuku Mother Earth and Anginui Sky Father. So therefore, greetings, greetings, greetings. Haere mai. Haere mai.
Wow.
Haere mai. There's plenty of room over here. Oh my God. Everyone to the Lord of the Forest. How big is Tāne Mahuta? Well, I know I'm just getting it for future reference, Kia ora, YouTube, but Tāne Mahuta is the largest Cody tree in the world, whānau. He is the Lord of the Forest. How big is he? Pretty big. 51.5 meters in total height. So from ground to the very top, Tāne Mahuta is the same height as half the length of a rugby field. He has a waistline, a circumference, a girth of 13 meters around, 13 meters around. Now, Tāne Mahuta, he is classed as the largest Cody tree in the world, okay? Number one,
However, in order for us to determine which of these trees is the largest, we must first take the height of all of our Kauri trees, the height from ground to the first branch. The height of Tāne Mahuta from ground to the first branch is about 17 meters tall, 17 meters tall. If you take that height, ground, first branch, you then go across, you then go back down, that is your trunk area. It is the amount of usable timber found in that trunk area that determines which of these trees is the largest. Tāne Mahuta has growing in his trunk area 244 cubic meters of usable timber. That makes him the largest Kauri tree in the world. Be honest with me though and ask you this question. Besides a lot of wood, does 244 cubic meters mean anything to anyone? Okay then. Yeah, well that's right. Well, this is how I do it because 244 cubic meters is the equivalent, is the same as 90,000 super feet. Does anyone know what a super foot is? Me neither, but I know that you need 10,000 super feet to build one house. So theoretically, there's enough timber within Tāne Mahuta to construct and to build 9 houses. But we don't really want to think about the Lord of the Forest as a house. This is just our way of getting a perspective, you know, of how huge, how massive Tāne Mahuta. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in his branches, Tāne Mahuta has growing in his branches 35 different types of trees, plants and flowers growing within his own branches. So effectively, what Tāne Mahuta has is an ecosystem. He has a forest growing within his own canopy, growing within his own hair. You know Bob Marley? Yeah. Tāne Mahuta's like the Bob Marley of trees. He has all that life growing in his hair, shoulder. But how old is he? Oh, good question. Before I tell you how old he is, I wonder, Billy, you got your little pouch there, cuz? Well, before I tell you how old Tāne Mahuta is, everything has to start somewhere. Everything has to have a beginning. And in Bill's pouch is the life cycle of a Kauri tree. So get as close as you can without being offensive. And yeah, come and check out what Billy has in his pouch, whānau. Yeah.
Kauri trees are asexual, whānau. Both male and female cones are found on the same tree. Would you like to hold that, please, man? Would you like to hold this, please, sir? Both male and female cones are found on the same tree. The male is the first to form on the edge of the branch. About 2 to 8 inches below that, the female will form. When the female gets to about this size here, she will open similar to a rose opening. When she's fully open, that will give the male the chance to pollinate. Pollination is done by wind, and pollination takes 48 hours. Not bad, eh? It's a marathon in the Hokianga.
It's an average in the Hokianga.
It's an average in the Hokianga.
There's a little break in right
And so that's 8 inches, right?
That's 8 inches.
When pollination is done, the female will close back up and continue to grow. The male has done his duty, 48 hours, he deserves a rest, he falls to the ground, he's dead.
Oh!
That doesn't happen.
He doesn't get a cigarette or nothing?
The female will continue to grow until she's the size of a tennis ball. Yeah?
Can you hold it up?
At the size of a tennis ball. And when she gets to that size, she will literally explode on top of the tree, okay? You see all these sections on this Kauri cone. This cone is now the size of a tennis ball. All these sections are this size now. Okay?
Oh, that's going to be an interesting.
He just giving you examples of what happens.
Gravity.
Newton?
As that section falls to the ground, all the seeds, on every one of these sections, there's a Kauri seed. As that section falls to the ground, the Kauri seed will depart and use his wing to helicopter to the ground and hopefully landing somewhere where it's moist and begin to grow. The life cycle of a Kauri tree. Māori proverb, he kaka noa hau, I am a seed. Hako he iti, he pounamu. Despite being small, you are of great value. He kaka noa hau, I am a seed. Kia ora everyone, that's the life cycle of a Kauri tree.
So whānau, if the seed was very lucky, found a moist spot, germinate, and then begins to grow, 2,000 years later you could get a tree that looks like Tāne Mahuta, because that is the legal age of the Lord of the Forest. 2,000 years old. Obviously obviously can't speak for everyone else, but I believe 2,000 years isn't a bad innings. It's not a bad effort. 2,000 years, if I was to put that age into perspective, 2,000 years means that Tāne Mahuta germinated from the seed, same time as the birth of Christ, means that he was standing 1,000 years before Kupe, New Zealand's first discoverer, before our ancestor first touched New Zealand soil. Here's the kicker though, here's the most impressive, and I can't speak for everyone else or for my colleagues here, but what I think is the most impressive about Tāne Mahuta is the fact that he's 2,000 years old, yes, but he's not a 2,000-year-old building, a 2,000-year-old pyramid, a ruin or a relic.
Yeah.
Tāne Mahuta's 2,000 years of life, living entity, product of Mother Nature, still growing, still providing us with life. Still growing, absolutely. Well, how important are the little things? Without the little things, like these seeds, no big things, like our giants of the forest, no little, no big, no life, no us. We would not be here this afternoon standing underneath the branches of the largest kauri tree in the world. In Māori, we have an old proverb. It's an old Māori saying. It goes like this: Aha koa he iti he pounamu. In English, despite being small, you are to be absolutely treasured. Look, I'm not sure how deep everyone's knowledge is about the Māori culture, but it's been a tradition of ours that whenever we speak of anything of significance, any man, woman, child, any historical fact, we like to add mana or strength to what we've said by singing a Māori song. In the cases
Taura koe koe kua tai mai kia koe hoi hi-ha engari tō mana i ngā taka ui tangi hango nanahi engari tō mana no tu apakare, no tu apakare, nake, tonu hatu.
Welcome whānau, welcome family, welcome everyone once again to the Lord of the Forest. What think y'all? What think y'all about Tāne Mahuta? Trims by himself, that's what makes him such a unique, kauri tree is so unique, is that they just naturally prune their lower branches. If they become useless, the branches just fall off and they take the knots with them. That's why a lot of sailors love the kauri trees, because you know, you can use them for spars and masts on ships without having to do very much to them. You just chop them down and then chuck them on the ship and then Bob's empty. It's a 300-year-old. Well, you can see the branches right here.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And this one's about 300 years old, so it's a real, it's a baby. It's a baby. If you go that way and look to the left as you're walking, there's a 1,000-year-old tree off in the distance. So maybe if you follow Bill can point it out to you. But don't get started.
Canopy for the competition to grow, and also without the secondary canopy, these trees are prone to be blown over by Mother Nature. And kauri trees are always doing something special. As you can see, this around 300-year-old kauri tree, they shed their bark. They shed their bark because once they get to the light, they stop growing, and then they start growing out 0.3 of a millimeter every year, and they're stretching. And that's why they shed their bark. Also, their defense mechanism against parasite. You see the moss growing on the bark? When the bark comes away, bye-bye parasite. And kauri trees, when they're growing, they're always doing something special. They shed their lower branches. And when they do that, you notice the trunk of a kauri tree has got no knots. When they shed their lower branches, they take the knot with them.
So what is all those?
Those are birds. Those are birds. They're not knots from the tree. This is what kauri tree guys. When they shed their branches, they take the knot with it. That's why you don't, it's all dense timber. It's all timber, no weaknesses in the timber. No knots. Okay? Very, very special tree. They're always sought after.
Where else do they grow?
The cousins to the Cody tree, they can be found growing in Australia, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Fiji, Philippines, and New Caledonia. I don't know how they grow over there, whether they grow tall or wide or what.
Okay.
So yeah. Now is that one line? That little line you pull up a rope? Okay, so they just I can tell that I wasn't in that picture.
Just your face at the bottom.
Okay, good.
Oh, this is
Yes,
For you.
Keep moving.
Bora, they live in the wood.
So do you have problems with termite or anything?
Oh wait, what do I carry on there?
I'll tell you another story, Whānau, because I've already mentioned that Māori, we believe in guardians and gods. We believe that Tāne Mahuta is our god of the forest, but we also believe that the Cody trees, that they are the creators of life. And we believe this because in the beginning, so Māori mythology tells us, there was darkness, and our parents of creation, Papa Tuanuku, Mother Earth and Ranginui, Sky Father, they were joined together, they were cuddled together in an eternal embrace. And within that embrace existed their many children, and their children are believed to be our gods. And our gods, they grew sick and tired of living in the world of darkness. They grew sick and tired of living in the world of nothing, so sick that they decided to separate their parents of creation. Now all of the gods, they tried to separate Mother Earth and Sky Father. All of the gods, they failed, except for one. And the god who succeeded was Tāne Mahuta. Tāne Mahuta, our guardian, our protector, our god of the forest, he succeeded in separating Mother Earth and Sky Father because with his shoulders placed firmly against Mother Earth, Tāne used his thick strong legs to force his father skyward. And ignoring their cries, Tāne Mahuta, he continued to push until light entered into that world of darkness, creating growth, ultimately creating life. That's why local Māori believe, we believe that these trees, that the Cody trees personify, the Cody trees, they represent that separation. We believe that the Cody trees are the pillars that keep Mother Earth and Sky Father where they lay to this very day. If you understand creation stories, Whānau, you understand that was ours. It's our creation story. It's like our version of the Big Bang Theory, you know. And because it's our version of how we believe, you know, life was introduced into this world, what must follow as a mark of respect is once again a Māori waiata, a Māori song, Whānau. So once again, if you wouldn't mind giving me a few moments, much appreciated. Nō reira kia koutou. Hutia te rito te hara kei he te ko mako e he ko ki mai ki If the centers of our flex